from my knowledge, the original texts are nowhere to be found. So, how much of that can you really trust? How much of what is in the Tanakh can you be 100% sure was there from the beginning?
For one example, you have the different manuscript families that represent the Hebrew Old Testament. You have the Hebrew text of the Hebrew Old Testament, which is found among both the Jews and among the Samaritans. The Jews have their textual family of the Hebrew Old Testament, and the Samaritans have their textual tradition of the five books of Moses. These two traditions of the textual tradition of the Hebrew Bible have been separate for thousands of years. The separation of the Israelites in general from the Samaritan Israelites is recorded all the way back in the Book of Kings. Now, despite these two manuscript traditions being separate for so long, if you take a look at the differences between the Samaritan version of the Torah and the version as preserved among the Jews, you will see that while there are many, many differences, essentially all of these differences are differences in spelling, variant spellings. This is similar to the variation of spelling the word color, for example, in American English, and the word color in British English. I'm not so up to date, so it might have just been in the King James Version of the Bible, but there's certainly other words. Honor, or center, for example. In America we say C-E-N-T-E-R, and in Britain they spell it C-E-N-T-R-E. So this is the bulk of the differences between the Samaritan version of the Torah and the Jewish version. There are a few significant differences, and I mean really a few. One of them is, I believe, in the Ten Commandments, where the mountain regarded as holy by the Samaritans is referred to there by name, whereas in the Jewish version, no mountain is referred to by name, but it simply says the place that God would choose, or something along those lines. And there is one other place where it refers back to some occurrence that is recorded in both the Samaritan and the Jewish version of the Torah. But in the Samaritan version, it refers back to it verbatim, word by word, as opposed to just referring back to the occurrence in general. Now, there are a few lone places, a handful of places, that there is an actual word difference between the Samaritan text of the Torah, the Jewish text, and the texts as found among the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Greek Septuagint, the Greek translation of the Torah. These handful of places where there's an actual word difference does not change the overall meaning of the verse, nor do these ever regard the commandment to do or to abstain from doing any particular act. So these differences have no impact on fulfilling the actual commandments of God.